viewers, welcome to this week's edition of The Situation. Now, PLO Lumumba once said that it's only in Africa where people with ideas have no power and those with power have no ideas. Now, this program, The Situation, brings this into perspective. We create a platform where those with ideas and no power can find an opportunity to air their views, with the hope that those with power and no ideas can tap into these ideas and make their countries great. Now, today's program focuses on how Kenyan governors are faring in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. With me in studio is Mr. Nelion Ustad, a very famous figure here. Mr. John Jogu is also a very famous figure. Gentlemen, so far so good. The national government of Kenya has been trying very hard to make sure that Kenyans are cushioned against the coronavirus pandemic. But the county governments, so far, what do you think they've been doing? Are they measuring up to our expectations? Mr. John Jogu?
Well, that's a tricky question, but I think the only county government that is seen to be active is County Government 001, led by Governor Joho. This is where we see a true leader coming out clearly every day, just like the CS of Health is doing, and trying to speak to his constituency and taking steps to do whatever he can in order to caution his people. But the other county governments, they are doing almost zero. And we have seen that they have gone to hiding, and then maybe they will resurface after the dust of coronavirus settles down. That's my feeling.
All right, Mr. Nelion, what do you think?
Well, I want to give an example first that when doctors tell citizens to stay back at home, even doctors don't go back at home to sit. They don't go to rest. They are taking swift action so that they can counter the spread of the virus. But contrary, our leaders, especially our county governors, when they tell us to back off the street, they tell us to back off from the cities, they also back off the villages. So it leaves a question to answer, then what is the role of the leaders? The leaders are the ones who are supposed to formulate ideas, then they take action. So the virus doesn't spare anyone. When the county governor tells us to back off the street, then it is their mandate to take an action so that we can cap up the spread of the virus. So most of our county governors, we have seen from the media that they are really not taking swift actions. One of the examples that we can give that actually work is going on is the 001, that is county of Mombasa. We have seen that the county governor is taking swift action to that to curb the spread of the virus. So we need to learn from that example.
Very well, gentlemen. That is well said. Of course, true leaders are known at the time of crisis. And like they have said, 001 is leading by example. So congratulations, Mr. Joho. What about the other counties? Do you think really any tangible work is going on? Because most of these leaders have gone into hibernation. They are nowhere to be seen, but we know that when, like Mr. George said, when the coronavirus dust settles down, then all these leaders will resurface. The Kieleweke and the Tangatanga team, they will resurface. Do you think so?
Yeah, they will resurface. Actually, some of them are even trying to resurface right now to try and put the work of somebody like Joe, who is doing a very good job. Some of them are trying to say that he is trying to publicize himself, you know, and it's not good, it's not right. Because Joe himself has said he is not doing this for publicity. He is doing this for his people. He is a true servant. He is giving leadership. Where are the others? They are supposed to be in the forefront. Where are they? Where are they? I've seen an example of my own governor trying to make some sanitizers and labeling with his name. What is this? This is publicity. He should not do that. If he is willing to be a servant, he should serve the people. You know, when we were told by the government to stay at home, the leaders were not told to stay at home. They should give leadership, but they are not doing it. So they are just hiding. It is the same analogy that they use, you know. When they are campaigning, they always come with a lot of promises that, you know, we are going to construct hospitals and all that. And then what they usually do is when their kids are sick, they take them out of the country because they know the hospitals have not been made as they promised. So it is the same analogy. So leaders, they are not doing, the other countries are not doing anything that we can see. From 001, we can see what he is doing. Other countries, zero.
So in other words, many of the countries are waiting for the national government to give directives, to give leadership, or probably maybe to give some money so that they can, you know, do what is necessary when it comes to combating the pandemic. Do you think so, Mr. Nelion?
Well, we are grateful that we are now connected with social media, and we are getting almost all the information right away from the central government and what is going on down to the counties. The central government is really doing all that it can be able to do, but we need a backup from the county governors. So, for instance, that the central government is disbursing money to the counties. It is the responsibility of the county governors to see the best action they can do so that they can help the central government to implement its policies. Otherwise, if they are not able to take this action, then the effort of the central government will be null and void.
Well, well said. But again, I think that, you know, the county governments, they also levy their people. They collect taxes from the counties, and therefore the counties have money in their kitties that they can use to, you know, cushion their county, you know, citizens against this pandemic. For example, we've seen in Mombasa, Joho is trying to, you know, bring on board people from different walks of life. These people are bringing donations in terms of food. They're bringing donations in terms of sanitizers and, you know, what is expected when it comes to combating this pandemic. But this is very, very minimal in other counties. Machakos County, we've not seen Mutua doing a lot. We've not seen people in my own county, Siaya County, Governor Asanga. It is very, very silent. Actually, he's not doing anything at all. We've not seen him anywhere. The Homa Bay County, this guy, you know, they are not doing anything at all. So out of the 47 counties, the county that is leading by example is Governor Joho. 001, number 1. Mr. George.
And don't forget the fact that, you know, when Joho was being elected, some of the politicians were labeling him to be a person who is not educated. Now, look at the work that he is doing. And this begs the question, does responsibility come with education? Some of the counties, like one of your counties in, let me just name it, Kisumu County, is led by a professor. What has he done?
Absolutely nothing.
Has he have any plan for the county? He has nothing. He has done nothing. Whereas Joho, who was being labeled as not educated, he is doing more than everybody. Look at what he has done rightly. He has collected data to know the number of people in his county who are vulnerable. That's almost 200,000 and above. And he has set aside like 200 million from his own county, not from the national government, to cushion those vulnerable people. What are the others doing? Have they collected data? Because this is available from the national government. Have they collected data to know the number of vulnerable people in their counties, and then set aside some budget from their kitty? They have done nothing. They have done nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I think some of the governors are quite unaware. They are not yet to learn from the national government over the years that they have been in power. Actually, when you look at this kind of emergency, this is a crisis which is actually managed within the county level. They have resources, but they don't know what they're supposed to do with the resources. For instance, now we are talking of two issues. One, how do you take care of the people already who are infected? Then how are you going to manage those people that we are putting in quarantine? Then what measures are you taking, and where are you going to get the resources so that you can curb the spread of the virus? Now, looking at this aspect, you will find that the county does not account for the resources that already they have, and they are not able to manage. So this is something that our leaders should be able to learn, not only from the national government, but from their own. They need to know what are the steps they're supposed to take in order to manage the resources they already have, instead of always running to the central government for resources and how they're supposed to manage the resources. That is the weaknesses that we have from our county governors.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your contributions. We want to take this opportunity here at the situation to thank Governor 001, Governor Ali Hassan Joho, for great job you're doing. We know that you're now a real leader, you're a true leader. And therefore, hoping that you will be in the ballot come 2022, I think we will rally Kenyans and the Mombasa County people to support you. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you, too.
Catch us in our next program. Thank you so much.